60% of Americans have set a New Year's resolution. Most students also set high expectations for themselves at the start of each new semester, saying this is going to be the semester you really get your act together and excel in every way possible. Each morning we even wake up with ideas for what we want to accomplish that day. In other words, we are constantly setting goals. When we set these goals, we are developing our own accountability to accomplish a certain behavior, potentially even developing a habit, incorporating the models of behavior change into one's own life. In this video, we will discuss fundamental terminology for goals, as well as the benefits of goals and what properties exist for more successful goals. First, goals we set might have different orientations or directions of focus. For one, we might have outcome goals, which are focused on a comparison between how we are now and how we want to be later. Before and after photos from weight loss are a good example of outcome goals because we care about the overall change that has occurred. The end result might be impressive, but it is made more salient by the comparison. Speaking of comparison, we do not only use ourselves as comparison to generate these outcome goals. We can compare ourselves to real or imagined others as well. Psychologists call this social comparison. On the one hand, we might engage in upward social comparison, whereby we compare to other beings who we think are better off than us. They might have better physique, more money, greater well-being, better friends, anything that we want and we think they have. This type of comparison can be beneficial in that it highlights the possibility of certain achievements and provides salient motivation. However, it can also backfire if the better off situation appears out of our reach. In this case, people may lose hope that they will ever catch up to the Johnsons, resulting in low self-esteem or giving up entirely on a goal. On the other end, if we really want to boost our self-esteem, we can focus on downward social comparison, whereby we compare to someone who we see as worse off. Again, worse physique, less money, lower well-being, worse friends, anything that matters to us that we have and they don't. This comparison makes us feel good about ourselves, but can also backfire if we get complacent thinking that things are already good enough, causing us to give up on goals that might benefit us. It is good to have a balance of both upward and downward social comparison to keep us motivated, but also maintain our feelings of self-esteem. Important to note that these social comparisons, both upward and downward, only matter inasmuch as individuals care about the specific thing. If physique has never mattered to us, then neither Johnny Bravo nor the wow guy can influence us. Another orientation for goals is towards trying to overcome a specific challenge. These performance goals are focused less on change comparison from time 1 to time 2 and are more about a momentary accomplishment. For instance, we want to ace an exam, run a 6-minute mile, or quit smoking. And finally, we have process goals, which are about learning or developing a new skill. These process goals are about the journey, not the destination. For instance, we may want to learn more about healthy eating or discover better coping skills to handle stress. There's not necessarily a set comparison or observable hurdle, but we still feel we have accomplished something. Important to note, each goal orientation can be beneficial, and people experience the most sense of accomplishment when they combine and focus on multiple types of orientations. Goals can also be distinguished between two categories. The first are subjective goals, which are general statements regarding what we want to do or accomplish eventually. For instance, someone might indicate that they want to lose weight, get healthier, sleep better, drink more water, exercise more, the list goes on. In fact, most New Year's resolutions are subjective goals. There is some idea of what change we want to see, but there are no specific details about how this change will be accomplished. For instance, what specific foods will we add or cut out? How many ounces of water a day? How much gym time? Once these specific details are addressed, our goal becomes an objective goal. These objective goals indicate exactly what changes we want to see, usually during a specific time period. These goal categories have unique utility. Subjective goals are generally good for initial motivation and thoughts about final product. However, if our goals remain just subjective, we will struggle with how to actually know we are working towards accomplishing these goals. Thus, we benefit from objective goals which detail the specific accomplishments. Thus, we want to link our subjective goals to objective goals. In fact, this specificity is just one part of what makes for SMART goals. People are most likely to stay focused on their goals if they are specific, have a measurable way of knowing that the goal has been accomplished, are reasonably attainable through our own abilities or access to resources, are relevant to our internal desires as well as our social situation, and have a dedicated period of time. Regarding attainability, goals are also easier to accomplish when they build in smaller steps towards the final big goal. That way, we feel a sense of accomplishment with each progression, as well as gaining new skills and avoiding burnout. As Bob Wiley says best, baby steps. People are also better at achieving long-term goals if they are able to adjust the goal based on new information, such as athletes experiencing a physical injury. Attempting to immediately perform above pre-injury baseline would likely result in feelings of failure, but if the goal is adjusted, then the athlete can stay motivated to build back up. Goals are also benefited by structuring our environments to assist the positive behavior. In general, people have a tendency to create or seek out environments that facilitate their current habits and behaviors. For instance, if running outside every morning is a habit, we tend to seek out living situations that give us easier access to healthy and safe outdoor spaces. However, we can change our environmental cues to promote positive behaviors. For instance, we can surround ourselves with supportive others who can enhance the effectiveness of strategies we use to change our behavior. We can spend time in healthier environments and avoid unhealthy ones. For instance, recovering alcoholics try to avoid commutes that pass by salient liquor stores or bars. We can also give ourselves reminders and prompts to promote the behavior, such as leaving out dental floss or putting our sneakers by the door. So we have all these goals, but why? What psychological advantages do we get from setting these goals rather than just seeing where the wind takes us? For one, goals help to direct our attention. There are a million needs and desires pulling us in every direction at any moment, so setting goals helps us to remember and follow through on one particular set of needs and desires. These goals also mobilize us to actually put in the work to chase down a specific outcome, rather than allowing ourselves to become passive or complacent regarding what happens to us. As we pursue these goals, we also inevitably come to challenges and setbacks which may otherwise deter us from achieving the outcome. But by having goals that we deem valuable, we feel a greater need for persistence, and in order to be persistent, we sometimes have to alter our approach and strategies. Thus, setting goals helps to promote new knowledge and learning.